Well, boys, if you clicked on this video, you're probably curious on what to run on the Omi side this season. Well, have no fear, I'm here. And without further ado, let's get straight into this guide. Ikaze. Alrighty, fellas. I'll go ahead and show you the rev cards and the mindscapes with this team, starting off with our main DPS, Mont. Shoutouts to Mr. Monster for allowing me to borrow his Mont, goated guildmate, by the way. We are going to be running Meditation and Opulence. Here is his Mindscape. And next, let's talk about our secondary DPS, being Fluerret, aka Shiratori. We're going to be running the Harmony and Victory set. Here is his Mindscape. And then on to our strategist, Tempest. We're going to be running Creation and Worry. Here is her Mindscape. Navigator-wise, we're going to be running Migu Dayo. Right? She's going to be running Hope and Labor. Here is her Mindscape. And lastly, let's talk about Wonder. Wonder, for his daggers, you do have a couple of options. If you aren't capped out on defense reduction, I recommend R6 Arc Knife. If you are, you can do R6 Ex Machina, but from what I've experimented on, Arc Knife is just the better choice if you're not capped out on Shred. As for Wonder Personas, we're going to be running Sandalphon to sustain us this whole fight, since Oumitsunu does hit pretty hard this season. So we're going to be using Devoted Guard and his Highlight to help sustain. Vishnu is going to be there for his defense shreds with Winter Nirvana. You would also want to inherit Rakunda as well. And then lastly, on Dionysus, we're just going to be using him to buff attack and crit damage. I do hit the crit rate cap without using Revolution or Rebellion, so I just would use Tarukaja and Matarukaja. But if you aren't capped out, consider using Revolution and Rebellion on Dionysus this season. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the run. Ikaze. Alrighty, fellas, let's go ahead and begin here. So Tempest, we're going to go ahead and S3, and we're going to go ahead and apply it to Mont to give her crit damage and some CR. Wonder, we're going to go ahead and change to Vishnu. We're going to go ahead and Rakunda on the boss to cap out on defense reduction. Fluerret, we're going to go ahead and skill 3 here. It's all he's going to be doing, by the way, just S3 spam. That's really it. Okay, Mont, we're going to go ahead and skill 3 here. And then next turn, we'll set up for her Resonance phase. Boss does hit pretty hard, so you do need somewhat of a sustain in this fight, being a Wonder Persona or just dedicated sustain. Alright, Miku's here. We're going to go ahead and use her skill 1. This is going to amp up the party's attack and giving us some extra pierce rate to cap out on defense reduction. Highlights here, let's go ahead and use Mont's highlight. Tempest, we're going ahead and skill 1 here to inflict the wind damage taken. Next with Wonder, we're going to inflict even more shreds with Vishnu using skill 1, Wind of Nirvana. We're going to go ahead and skill 3 bot with Fluerret as per usual. My Fluerret is pretty capped out too without Rebellion or like Rico S3, which is pretty nice. Okay, Mont, we're going to go ahead and skill 1 here. And then we'll get the bonus resonance. Big PP damage. Holy, 1 mil res. And that's not even the strongest resonance you're going to see this fight, y'all. Is the crazy part. Okay, Miku's back again. Spring Song time. We're going to go ahead and activate S2 here to apply a party-wide damage amp and increasing our weakness damage for the party. And then next, Tempest, we're going to go ahead and reset her rotation, reapplying the S3 on Mont, giving her crit damage, crit rate, you know the drill. And here, we're going to go ahead and switch to Sandalphon with Wonder. You're going to go ahead and highlight here, giving us this big old shield to help us with sustaining. Here, we're going to go ahead and switch back to Dionysus and Matarukaja. The reason why I'm Matarukaja instead of doing something like a Tarukaja, even though I'm capped out on CR, is because since this is a multi-DPS fight, you want a buff that can spread across the whole entire team. So stuff like Revolution and Matarukaja is just better here if you're capped out. And then of course, Fluerret's going to S3 and Mont's going to S3. Alright, Miku's back. we are on Play with Fire. We're going to go ahead and proc S1 to give us extra crit damage and to reapply the party-wide attack boost. Okay. Now Riko herself is going to go ahead and skill 1 here, reapplying the Wind Swept and the wind damage taken. Wonder, we're going to change to Vishnu and resetting our rotation Rakunda. Fluerret, as you know, skill 3 botter. And then here we get highlight, but do not use it. You want to wait until next turn. We're going to go ahead and activate Katone's skill 1 here. And this is going to give us our resonance follow-up for some big PP damage. Bonk. 800k. Not bad, not bad. And yeah, this phase right here is what catches a lot of people off guard, because he does 2 attacks and they both hit pretty hard. That's why we use Sandalphon's shield there. Alright, boys. We have 3 tracks. You know what that means? Showstopper time. So go ahead and Showstopper. This is going to buff our party's crit damage, giving us those extra turns as well of breathing room for some extra rotations. Tempest going to go ahead and highlight onto Mont here to give her the crit damage and attack amp. He's also going to reapply the crit rate with S3 in conjunction. And Wonder, we're going to go ahead and Wind of Nirvana here to keep the buff for the whole entire fight. Next, with Fluerret, you know the drill, S3. And resident S3 botter. Okay, Katone's going to go ahead and reset her rotation using skill 3 here. He's going to dance around Oumi for a little bit. Very decent damage. And then we're going to go ahead and reapply the wind damage taken with skill 1. Okay, highlights up. We're going to go ahead and use Fluerret's highlight here for some extra chip damage. Come on, past me. You want to click that Fluerret highlight button? Come on. There you go, buddy. So this is going to give us some extra damage with Fluerret. And in conjunction with Wonder, we're going to go ahead and Wataru Kaja with Dionysus. Of course, make sure you target Katone, so she's the one getting the crit damage amp from Dionysus' passive. Alright, guess what we're doing here? You got it. Skill 3 botter. Pretty good damage for a 4-star though, I will say. And then Katone here is going to go ahead and skill 1. This is the big resonance damage rotation. Holy smokes, 1.4. Very nice. Alright, Miyuku's going to go back to heaven now. We're going to go ahead and skill 1. This is going to go ahead and reapply the pierce rate and party-wide attack boost. Help cap defense reduction, etc. Tempest, we're going to reset her rotation, targeting Mont here, giving her the crit rate, crit damage she needs. Wonder, we're going to go ahead and change to Sandalphon. We're going to go ahead and skill 1. Make sure you target Katone, so she gets the damage amp from Sandalphon. And of course, Fluerret is going to skill 3 mash here. You know the drill. Don't highlight yet. You want to save that for next turn. We're going to go ahead and do Mont's S3 here. Setting up for our big damage next turn. Alright, Miku's back again. We got Storm, so let's go ahead and activate skill 2 for the weakness damage amp, of course. And with that, we also get a damage amp for the whole party. Miku's kind of OP, y'all. I kind of love Migu Dayo now. She's pretty nice. Here's all the debuffs on Oumi. And I'm also going to show you Mont's buffs as well, probably in a minute. But here we're going to go ahead and use Riko S1, reapplying the wind damage taken. So there are all her buffs. If you got to slow down, slow down. If you want to see her crit rate, y'all, I'll also show that in a minute. But here we're going to go ahead and Tarukaja. Make sure to target Katone so she gets the crit damage amp from Dio passive. As you know, Fluerret's our skill 3 botter. And then here I'm pretty sure I show y'all Katone's crit rate. So here, right here, 97.5. Capping without Revolution or Rebellion, which is very nice. And then go ahead and Katone highlight, followed by big PP damage S1. There you go, fellas. GG's. Holy 1.5. Alrighty, fellas. Thank you so much for watching this guide. And if you do have any questions, leave it down in the comments below. I'll get to you as fast as I can. And if you really enjoyed this one, leave a like, consider leaving a sub. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, y'all. And yeah, do look forward to future videos like guides and video essays. I'm cooking up a few things, y'all. And until the next one, deuces.